Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of Cooking with Kung Fu Panda. That's me. I had a little bit of feedback that I don't talk to the camera enough, so hello, I am going to talk to the camera. Going to do for you tonight what I think is one of my favourite recipes. So people ask me, hey, how do you get a physique like this? Well, the other day I spent a day frying fish and eating fried fish, and that's how you end up looking like this. But it was in the search of what I think is the best batter for fish and chips. So I'm going to show you how to make a decent, good homemade fish and chips, assuming that we might not be able to get out to get it from the chip shop, but we've got some fantastic chip shops out there. So first is take some potatoes. These are mouse pipers. Just drain them in. Just pop them in a saucepan. Top with water. Just pop some salt in. And all you do now is you just bring that to the boil, and the moment it's come to the boil, you just take it off the heat. Okay, the moment that's just come to the boil, so the moment that's come to the boil, take them off the heat, and then you just drain them and just leave them to steam dry. So once they've dried out, I've got a deep fat fryer, but obviously if you haven't, just use a chip pan. The oil, heat it up to 170. And just pop the chips in the pan. And then you just lower them in at 170. Once you've cooked them for a few minutes, just take them out. You see they're starting to cook, but not too golden. And you put your oil up to 190. Okay, the oil is now at 190. Again, just carefully shake them up and just lower that down and in. Again, that'll be another 4 or 5 minutes. Just flip that over because that's quite oily. Now I'm going to look at making the peas while it's cooking, keeping an eye on that. First thing is my favourite way of doing peas. So spring onions, just finely chopped. Once you finely chop your spring onions, just give them a quick rinse under the tap. Pop them in a saucepan with a nice knob of butter. About that much. Just pop that in on the side, and just cook that. And just cook that gently for a couple of minutes. So after 3 or 4 minutes, those chips are lovely golden brown. So just going to pop them in the oven just to continue, just to keep warm. So pop them in the oven just to keep warm. Going to turn the deep fat fryer back down to 170 while I make the batter in there. So this for me is the best batter recipe ever. So start off with a cup of plain flour, a couple of teaspoons of baking powder. I like white pepper, use black if you like, and just some ordinary table salt. So just pop that in there. Just give that a mix round. And this is where the fun bit starts. Next bit is traditional lemonade. I've tried this batter with beer, with spring water, with ordinary lemonade, with plain water, with milk, with eggs in it. But for me, this is the best one. So it's about 3/4 of a cup of traditional lemonade. Gives you an absolutely fantastic little lemony kick. That's a good name. Lemony kick, that's a good name for a blues artist. So just pour it in. I'm going to start mixing it with a fork to start off with. That's the consistency, absolute lovely batter. That's been cooking for a couple of minutes. What you do now is just about 3/4 of a cup of frozen peas. And just pop them in there, let them cook down for a bit. Put some plain flour in another bowl. Again, just put some salt and pepper in that flour. I will cut the other, so I've cut a nice fillet like that. in the flour. Give it a nice coating, it helps the batter stick. So into the batter. I'm going to use tongs, and what you want to do, you just hold it in there. You don't want to let go of it too soon, because otherwise it will stick. So you hold it in there for about 30 seconds or so, just so, and keep moving it around just so the batter begins to cook. And that's done. So put that down. I'll have a little bit of lettuce in my piece. I've got some lovely little gem lettuce. Just take take the outer leaves off, and then just just slice that down. Just rip that in again, so that will cook around for a bit. Okay, so this is how I do mine. Now obviously you can make your own mayonnaise, and I showed you how to do that in one of the previous videos. Just for now, just a nice squirt of mayo. A little bit of a sprinkling of tarragon if you can get it. Fresh if you can get it. I've got frozen. I'm going to put a bit of pepper in it. A bit of salt in it. I'm going to do the juice of half a lime. So a couple of Cornichons. You can tell I'm middle class, they're not gherkins. Into Wakefield or Muz. Yes. Put those in, and then just some capers, second fish. I'm just going to turn it halfway through, make sure it gets cooked both sides. Down some of these capers, pop them in, and just mix that round. I'm going to grab a bit of fresh mint. Again, wash it. Just roughly chop that, pop that in. Just a squeeze of lime juice in there again. Let's get ready to plate up. So just lift your fish out. You're just about plate up, you've got to open another beer. And look, we're going to be locked up for a while, it looks like. So, why don't you come and join us at Kung Fu Panda, and we will continue to provide cooking videos. I mean, you could obviously go to one of these other YouTube websites. They might show you how to do things like colour coordinate your wardrobe, but hey, who wants to know how to do that when you're not going out? So for me, just pile up some chips on the side. Pile up the chips there. Grab a little bit of the pea mix. Absolutely lovely. And then this is where we pop the fish out. And look how beautiful that is.